Gather around, noble friends, and let me spin you a yarn of labyrinthine corridors, monstrous appetites, and one hero's quest that doubled as a midlife crisis of royal proportions. Yes, I speak of Theseus and the dreaded Minotaur, a tale of courage, cunning, and more twists than a vine of ivy clinging to the sunlit walls of Knossos. Once upon a time in Athens, where the olives grow plump and the philosophers grow long-winded, King Aegeus found himself in a diplomatic pickle. His cousin, King Minos of Crete, insisted that Athens pay tribute every 9 years, 7 boys and 7 girls, to be shipped off as, shall we say, guests of the Grand Palace. Only problem was, Minos kept these guests under lock and key in a sprawling underground maze, where they never returned. Word was, a savage half-man, half-bull creature called the Minotaur made an all-you-can-eat buffet of any unfortunates who wandered too close. Not exactly the getaway vacation Athens had in mind. But fear not. Enter Theseus, Prince of Athens and local gym enthusiast. Legend says he bench-pressed 3 goats before breakfast and did his morning swim with dolphins, though the dolphins mostly swam away in pity. Upon hearing of the tribute, Theseus puffed out his chest, laced his sandals, and vowed, "By Zeus's beard, I will put an end to this bovine horror show." His father, Aegeus, tried to reason. "Son, maybe try diplomacy or some nice olive oil and cheese." But Theseus had already packed his sword and Politis's guidebook to Cretan labyrinths. When Theseus landed in Crete, he was greeted by King Minos's daughter, Ariadne. She was intelligent, quick-witted, and frankly tired of watching talented young Athenians disappear below ground. Over a cup of wine sweetened with honey, she whispered, "Hey, handsome, I know my father's labyrinth like the back of my hand, and I have just the thing to keep you from becoming Minotaur fodder." She revealed a ball of enchanted thread, wool so fine it could guide him back to the entrance. "Just tie one end here," she instructed, "and let the rest unravel as you wander. When you're done, follow it home. It's like GPS, Cretan style." Armed with sword, shield, and Ariadne's magical string, Theseus descended into the labyrinth. Imagine a hedge maze on steroids, with corridors that looped, spiraled, and dead-ended so often that even a professional cat would have trouble finding its way out. Theseus pulled the golden thread along, marking his path and calling out, "Minotaur, show yourself, you overgrown steak sandwich." The only reply was the distant drip of water and the echo of his own bravado. At last, in a cavern lit by torches and dripping with eerie echoes, he beheld the Minotaur. Half-man's torso perched on a hulking bull's body, nostrils flaring, hooves stamping like impatient dancers. The beast snorted, as though to say, "Finally, dinner arrives." With a roar that rattled the stones, the Minotaur charged, horns aimed to skewer Theseus like a lemon at a barbecue. But Theseus was no mere barbecue marinade. He ducked beneath the horns, slashed at the creature's flank, and used every trick he'd learned from watching Cretan bull leaping, a popular sport where brave youths vault over rampaging bulls. Definitely not the best idea, but thrilling for spectators. The Minotaur swung a massive hoof, splintering a nearby pillar, but Theseus evaded and managed a decisive thrust. With a bellow that echoed through the tunnels, the monster collapsed. Panting, Theseus wiped his brow. "Well, that's one performance review you'll never forget," he quipped, sheathing his sword. Then, with a glance at the wadded ball of thread, he reversed course, following the silver line back through twisting passageways until daylight streamed in like a promise. Emerging triumphant with his Athenian tributes in tow, Theseus and his band boarded ship for home. But first, Ariadne. They found her on the shores of Crete, waiting with relief sparkling in her eyes. Theseus took her hand, vowed eternal gratitude and maybe something more, and set sail under fair skies. Alas, every hero has a blind spot. Somewhere between Sicily's olive groves and Euboea's cliffs, Theseus fell asleep, and in his groggy state forgot to hoist the white sail, promised to his father if he returned victorious. On the cliffs of Sunion, King Aegeus scanned the horizon, eager for the snowy sails, when instead he spotted black canvas. Heartbroken, he believed his son lost, and in despair cast himself into the sea. Thus was born the Aegean Sea, a salty lullaby to caution. Always remember your flags. So ends the tale of Theseus and the Minotaur, a saga of cruelty turned courage, of love's golden thread pulling hope through darkness, and of one prince's gym-induced bravado that saved a generation. From this we learn 3 things. Never underestimate the power of a good sidekick. Ariadne's thread was the MVP of this rescue. Always double-check your sails. Dad's feelings matter too. Labyrinths work best if you bring snacks. That's just good advice in general. May your paths be less tangled, your monsters less hungry, and your sails always white. And should you ever find yourself in a maze, spare a thought for Theseus. Papa. Theseus may be part hero, part gym rat, and full-time legend.